Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video here, I'm going to be answering another subscriber question that I recently got in the channel. It was a good question, something that I think is applicable to a lot of people out there, and something that I have actually been thinking about personally in my own cycling recently, so I wanted to answer this question in a video format. Figured it might help more people out there. Now, I recently got a question on the channel from a gentleman who was asking me if I would ever purchase a disc road bike and a few reasons why or why not. And to answer the question, basically yes, I not only would, but I already have. And if you guys aren't already aware, there's a video on the channel a little bit further back. This fall, I picked up the Giant TCX Advanced, which is a cyclocross bike, and that does have Shimano disc brakes on it. And so I already have bought a bike with disc brakes, but as far as a road bike, yes, I would. And the reason why I haven't already, and probably aren't going to in the near future, is for a couple of reasons. But first, I want to talk about why I would buy a disc brake road bike. And that is because I think it's inevitable that disc brakes, they're obviously becoming more and more popular in road bikes. I think that trend is only going to continue. We're going to continue to see more and more disc road bikes coming out onto the market. And again, I don't have a ton of experience on disc brakes yet. From everything I've been seeing online, from all the review videos and stuff I've seen, I think it's pretty much insurmountable evidence and data out there that the disc brakes are going to offer you better braking, especially in wet conditions. So the mere fact that disc brakes gives you the better braking performance, that right there in and of itself is the main reason why I would go to disc brakes. Okay, and if I was just going to be getting a bike like today, if I was just going to be buying a bike that I was only going to be using for enjoyment or to go on some century rides with, that I wasn't competing with, I would buy a disc brake road bike. Okay, the reason why I haven't yet is because, as you guys know, I do race. I'm an amateur bike racer, and I love racing bikes. And for me personally, right now, I don't think disc brakes are the best option if you're a racer, and that's more so an amateur racer. There's still some teeter-totter back and forth in the pro peloton. Rather or not, they're gonna allow disc brakes. One week they say yes, 1 week they say no. But I think, actually, I'm predicting very, very soon that we're gonna see disc brakes becoming a lot more common even in the pro peloton. But pro riding aside, for amateur bike racing, I don't think disc brakes are the best option right now. And the main reason is not necessarily because of performance, although that is one element that would hold me back right now personally, is because, as you guys know, I'm a very small statured person. I'm 125 pounds, very small guy. And of course, I like to climb hills. I like attacking on hills. And so I want the lightest bike that I can have, or that I can afford right now. I want a light bicycle. Light bicycles gives me an advantage over a heavier bike because I target, hilly courses and hilly portions of courses to make my moves and to be competitive. So, of course, I want the lightest option available, and as of right now, the disc brake version bikes are still coming in, I've heard them coming in anywhere from a half a pound to a pound heavier than the rim brake version. So, on a 5-6, I got a climb near me, Whiteface Mountain here that we climb. It's an 8-mile climb, and over the course of an 8-mile climb, an extra pound of weight can add up to basically minutes on the road. So, it does have an effect on your climbing. And so with me being a climber and targeting climber and doing that in a competitive standpoint, I don't want disc brakes right now because basically they're a heavier bike than the rim brake option, and I want the lightest bike possible. But the main reason why I don't think disc brakes are good from a racing perspective right now, especially amateur racing, is because of wheel changes. For anybody who's not familiar in an amateur bike race, most of the time you have, there's a wheel car that, follows around each field. Before the race, you put in a couple of wheels, mark them, and then, you've got wheels should you, have an issue during the race. And at least any of the bike races that I have been to, I see very little, if any, disc brake riders out there. So therefore, say you're in a road race and you've got a disc brake road bike and you're the only guy in a 50-man field with disc brakes, and you've got your wheels in the back of the wheel car or wheel truck with 50 other sets of wheels in there, and you have an issue on the side of the road and you need a wheel change, that could be a drastic issue during the race if you had to have a wheel change, because it could take a couple of minutes for the guy running the wheel car to even find your wheels in that mess, And whereas if you're on a rim brake, and the majority of guys are still using rim brake bikes, oftentimes on the wheel cars, they don't even necessarily give you your own wheel. They're just grabbing any wheel that, so that you can get back into the race quicker and, catch back onto the pack. And if you can't do that, your race is over with. So, and if the wheel car had to specifically dig through, 50 sets of wheels to find yours because you have disc brakes, I think that could be a major issue for anybody during a race where if you had to resort to a wheel change. And it's happened to me. Pretty much happens to everybody at some point. You're going to have a wheel change during a race, and I would not want to be on disc brakes right now because, like I said, very few guys are racing disc brakes currently. Like I said, I think the trend is going towards disc brakes. I think, maybe 2-3 years down the road, maybe it'll be a viable option for racing because so many guys will be using them then. But right now, for amateur racing especially, I don't think disc brakes are a good option because of the wheel change issue, honestly. And secondly, I still don't like the fact that you have a pretty significant weight penalty going to them. I mean, a pound difference on your setup, that's big. And a lot of guys say, well, just compensate with your body weight. Well, yeah, you can, but still, like, if I do all the things I need to do and keep my body weight in check, any way you look at it, having a bike that's a pound heavier is still a pound heavier than I would have to carry around if I had, a rim brake bicycle. So, and I just personally don't think right now, at least for the races that I do and for the riding I do, descending, the braking advantage I would get on descending does not outweigh the climbing benefits I get and, the risk of having these super long wheel changes if I have an issue, because I'm the only one of the only ones probably with a disc brake bike in a wheel change during a race. So that's just a couple of thoughts I have on the topic. Again, if I didn't race, if I had no interest in racing and I wasn't going to be doing any racing and just going to be going out riding for my own fitness or riding with friends or doing the occasional century ride and not putting a competitive aspect to it, I would be all in and would probably already have a disc brake road bike, because I think the market's going that way. And for the gentleman asking the question, he basically is looking at the Giant TCR Advanced Disc option and the Giant TCR Advanced Pro 1. Again, you know which one I would buy? I would buy the Advanced Pro 1 because it's a rim brake option, in which I would be racing if I was in your... And I think you said specifically that you're not racing. So if I wasn't racing, I would probably get that TCR disc bike. It's going to be an awesome bike, and it is an awesome bike, and I think you would like it. But that's just my personal reasons for holding back at this point, more or less because of a competitive race. A couple of competitive race issues I have with the setup currently. But minus that, I think disc brakes are great, and I think that's the way the industry is going. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I answered Steve's question. And as always, guys, thanks for tuning into the channel, and I look forward to seeing you right back here in the next video.